So you're driving north on Georgia 400 from Atlanta out into the suburbs, and you're thinking to yourself, where in the world should I live? Exit 10 looks like Lululemon and a BMW had a baby. Exit 14 looks like welcome to suburbia, please enjoy your stay. Exit 16 suddenly becomes Tractor Supply territory. And exit 18 is apparently where every chicken in the state of Georgia lives. And by the time you reach Dahlonega, you're thinking, well, do I need a Jeep, a kayak, or maybe some gold mining equipment? Today, we're going to be breaking down the Georgia 400 corridor. We're going to be talking about Alpharetta, Cumming, Dawsonville, and Dahlonega, so you can finally answer the question, which exit is right for me and my lifestyle? Hey everybody, my name is Tim Gibson, and my channel is all about North Georgia real estate. Please subscribe if you haven't already. And if you're thinking about moving to North Georgia, or if you're considering listing your home in the area, please reach out. My contact info is on the screen. You've probably heard me talk about Georgia 400 in the past in some of my other videos, and you might be going, well, what are you even talking about? Georgia 400 is also known as a US 19. So sometimes when I talk to clients that are coming up, I say, hey, just jump on 400 and go north, and they go, all I see is US 19. Just know that in some sections, those two highway numbers are used interchangeably. So think of Georgia 400 as the spine of Atlanta. Atlanta is the heart. Georgia 400 is a relatively new highway that runs generally northeast from the capital of Georgia, Atlanta, Georgia. And as you head north on Georgia 400 from Atlanta, the vibe changes pretty quickly, about every 5 to 7 miles or so. Naturally, the closer you are to Atlanta, the busier it's going to be. But as you keep driving, you will find yourself seeing more land, more mountains, more privacy, fewer HOAs, chains, and crowds, but you got to get pretty far north for some of that. Each exit truly has its own personality, but picking the wrong one for your lifestyle can mean the difference between I love living here and why in the world does it take me 45 minutes to go get some Chick-fil-A. So let's break down the major zones on Georgia 400. And for reference, I am leaving out most of the extreme southern part of Georgia 400 because I don't really cover that area. I'm talking specifically about the area from 285, which is the outer loop of Atlanta, to around Alpharetta, Georgia, which is about as far south as I go. Before y'all just come at me in the comments and say, what about Sandy Springs and Roswell? Well, yeah, I don't go down that far. All right, so let's talk about Alpharetta, Georgia first. We're gonna start on the southern reach of my area. That is roughly exit 8 through 12. Alpharetta is the part of Georgia 400 that is definitely part of the Atlanta suburbs, and it in fact lies in Fulton County, which shares the same county as Atlanta. The best way I could describe Alpharetta, Georgia is that it's a very high-end luxury suburb. All right, so let's start with exit 8. That's sort of the retail, get everything you want, shop everywhere zone. So you got North Point Mall, restaurants everywhere, fast access to Roswell, Georgia 400, and commuting down to Atlanta. This area has a lot of older, well-established neighborhoods. It's close to everything and has that sort of established suburb feel. Exit 9 is Haynesbridge Road, and think of that more of a suburban / office mixture. You're near big employers, office parks, a mix of townhomes and single-family homes. Really great central location and a perfect place to live if you need easy access to the highway. Exit 10 is Old Milton Parkway, which is sort of the hub and the central location of Alpharetta. Everything in Alpharetta revolves around this exit. You can get to downtown Alpharetta, which is a cool area to hang out. The Avalon, which is a super high-end luxury shopping and dining area. The Avalon Hotel, high-end hotel, plenty of restaurants, walkable living, high-end neighborhoods, and top-rated schools. Think of it as luxury, convenience to everything, and high-end lifestyle all in one spot. And just to clarify, it is not cheap to live in this area. Exit 11 is Windward Parkway. You got big homes, big amenities. You got master plan communities, golf courses, swim tennis communities, bigger houses. There are some corporate headquarters off of Windward Parkway. Family-oriented, busy, plenty of things to do off of Windward Parkway. Lastly is exit 12, which is McFarland Parkway. Think of this as the bridge between Alpharetta and Cumming. This area has grown very fast in recent years. It's newer and maybe a bit more affordable than the other exits in Alpharetta. Lots of new construction, new townhomes, quick access to work centers, In the section of Exit 12 that lies in Forsyth County, you got access to Forsyth County schools, which is a huge draw to a lot of home buyers. You also have Halcyon, which is another high-end shopping and dining district off of Exit 12. And think of McFarland Parkway as sort of the launch pad between Alpharetta and Cumming, Georgia. Just to give you an idea of the home prices in Alpharetta, the median sales price in Alpharetta is currently $835,000. All right, so we've driven through Alpharetta on Georgia 400 and we have now arrived in South Forsyth County, which is Cumming, Georgia, Exit 13. Exit 13, we're gonna call this the suburban powerhouse. Exit 13 feels a bit like Alpharetta. You have lots of high-end shopping. Think the collection at Forsyth. You got a lot of newer construction homes, a lot of swim and tennis communities, and an easy access, again, to Georgia 400 if you are relatively close. Got a little bit of suburban traffic there. If you want to be close to everything, restaurants, parks, top-rated schools, and quick access to commute south to Atlanta or somewhere close to Atlanta, this is a great spot for you. If Exit 13 is the polished new car smell, think of Exit 14 that's a little bit more down to earth. You got some goldfish crumbs in the back of the minivan type of deal. Off of Exit 14, you get a mix of newer and older homes, slightly lower prices than Exit 13. This is where downtown Cumming is located. There's the Cumming Fairgrounds, which has the Cumming Fair every year, which is massive. Sawney Mountain, which is a very picturesque place to go out on a hike. This exit has everything: Walmart, Target, Home Depot, Lowe's, all the above. It's perfect for people who want suburbia without paying those high prices of South Forsyth or Alpharetta. As you go a little bit further north, you go to Exit 15, and this is a little bit more old school. It starts to feel a little bit more rural. Exit 15 starts to feel a little bit more spacious. You can get to downtown Cumming pretty quick. You also have access to the Cumming City Center, which is a nice new upscale shopping and dining area. A little bit less traffic, fewer large subdivisions, but you can start to notice as you go north of Exit 14 into Exit 15 and beyond that it starts to feel a little bit more rural and less suburban. That's also true for Exits 16 through 18 on Georgia 400, which we would call North Forsyth County. You'll start to notice a trend here, but as you keep going north, you're gonna notice that the median sales price decreases a little bit. So the median sales price for Cumming, Georgia is $600,000, which is a good bit less than Alpharetta at $835,000. Now we're gonna hop back in the car and go a little bit further north into Dawsonville, Georgia. So now we don't have any more exit numbers on Georgia 400. The last exit on Georgia 400 is Exit 18 in North Forsyth County. And as you pass that, it starts to look like a divided highway. And as you get into Dawsonville, you start to notice that this is a whole lot different than what you just drove through in Alpharetta and Cumming. It really starts to feel more like the North Georgia mountains. Here in Dawsonville, you get more house for the money, more space, and you get to see the mountains off in the distance as you continue to drive north into Dawsonville on Georgia 400. I think of Dawsonville as sort of the gateway to the mountains. It used to be a very small town, and it is still small, but lots of people are moving to Dawsonville. Why? Generally because the houses are more affordable than Cumming or Alpharetta. There are lots of new construction communities popping up in Dawsonville. Builders are offering quite a bit of incentives in December of 2025, so that is a draw for a lot of buyers. Reach out if you want some info on some of those incentives. You also have lots of shopping on Georgia 400 with the North Georgia Premium Outlets, which has everything from super high-end stores like Gucci or whatever to down to Old Navy and everything in between. Lots of grocery stores, Home Depot, Walmart, the whole 9 yards. But it's still close enough to 400 and to get you going south if you have to commute for work. And everything you need is very close to this little section on Georgia 400 in Dawsonville. Even though there's a lot of new construction going on, you will still find some houses that are on larger pieces of property. You might find some acreage, and there are still plenty of farms out here in Dawsonville. Downtown Dawsonville is relatively close to Georgia 400, which has the Georgia Racing Hall of Fame, home of NASCAR champions Bill Elliott and Chase Elliott. You also have easy access, very close access from 400 to the north side of Lake Lanier, which is also a draw for a lot of people. It's really the perfect place for people who want a mix of semi-suburban lifestyle and North Georgia mountain living. Like I mentioned, as you keep going further north, house prices become more affordable, and the median home price in Dawsonville, Georgia is $455,000. Now, as you power through the outlet mall area in Dawsonville and you start to drive further north on 400, you will start to notice less buildings, more trees, a very distinct difference between everything that you drove through to the south to a much more rural feel. So you're coming to the end of Georgia 400, and there is a stretch of road between Dawsonville and Dahlonega that's just kind of not much going on. Then you'll eventually get to the intersection of Highway 60, which goes east and west, and that is the end of Georgia 400. You would take a left to go to downtown Dahlonega, and at this intersection, there are a couple of gas stations, few restaurants, a new Publix shopping center, Home Depot, and the new Northeast Georgia Medical Center hospital location. And if you want to live in a small town that has a quaint town square, wineries, mountains, more land, quiet, mountain cabins, and a slower pace of life, and you don't mind spending a few extra minutes in the car to get to, those high-end shopping places in Dawsonville, Cumming, and Alpharetta, then Dahlonega could be perfect for you. Keep in mind, Dahlonega is not the place you want to be if you want a Starbucks on every corner, but if you want a North Georgia mountain town feel, that's really only about 35 minutes from Cumming, Georgia. Similar to parts of Dawsonville, you've got larger lots. You have a lot less planned subdivisions. For the most part, you have a lot of space in Dahlonega. And the median sales price in Dahlonega, Georgia is $370,000. So as you can see, the further south you go, the more expensive the houses tend to be. And as you go further north out into the country, the houses are a good bit cheaper. All right, so which exit is right for you? So for reference, I have lived in Alpharetta, I've lived in Cumming, I've lived in Dahlonega, and I work in Dawsonville. So I have a pretty in-depth knowledge of all these areas. Everybody's different, and what feels right for one person may feel completely wrong to someone else. If you want help figuring out which exit fits your lifestyle the best, please reach out anytime. I'd be happy to help guide you through the process. I help people move to North Georgia every single week, and I would be more than happy to help you do the same. As always, leave your thoughts in the comments. Tell me which exit would fit your lifestyle based on this video or your knowledge of the area. As always, my number is on the screen if you are thinking about moving to North Georgia or if you're considering listing your home in the area. Thanks again for watching the video, and we'll see you next time.